Yeah, so this is my poster. I'm not going to wait to the feedback on this part at the moment. I'll come back to that in a sec. So, if you see, so far I've discussed my magazine, and I will say right now, I've received a lot less feedback on my poster. This was sort of me just running with an idea that I had. Well, this is probably the only product which actually started with one of my drafts as it was. This was the first draft I came up with, and honestly, after I drew it, I couldn't decide how exactly I would use it for a poster. I think it gave. I mean, it did show an enigma. It would make you, the consumer of this particular text, quite confused. And this is where I came up with the Aces High title thing. The only feedback I really got for this was it was good. Although, that being said, it would be. Well, I imagine it would have been good, but getting the actual picture together would have taken a lot. Would have taken quite a difficult amount, especially for the lighting and the particular setup that I actually wanted for it. Yeah, this was my second draft, and although it's just text at the moment, I'm not particularly sure where the picture went. I was almost positive that I uploaded it. Anyway, as it says here, this was meant to be a scene in the trailer, but it was cut, and well, I think this was at the time when I was in charge of cinematography rather than editing, and then we had to change a couple of the ideas when I moved. Well, when Bethany and I swapped roles, all I really had to focus on was editing, since they lived closer together and I was a bit far away. It was much easier for them to do the actual filming. So this scene got cut, and it didn't make sense to make the poster based on a scene which we didn't have. So if I physically wrote it, it would be an iconic part of the trailer, and it was not in the trailer. So I just left the idea as it was, rather than try and force it through. Now this was my additional idea. So I originally thought I'll do 2 drafts and pick which one I want from that. But whilst trying to do some different work for one of my different courses, I just started doodling random ideas down, and I thought, actually, this seems like quite a decent idea, because there, well, I can't remember which particular trailers, but at this time there was some there was some particular. I can't remember at this particular time, but there were some posters which were going around, and they had these obviously a particular character of the film on, and each poster would be different, showing a different character. And I thought to myself that what would make quite an interesting distribution sort of technique, not really technique, what made quite an interesting what would be quite interesting from a distribution standpoint would be to release a poster, more and more posters the closer it actually got to the film. Because obviously Ace is high, and through the film we're counting cards. In that particular montage, the particular trailer, we are counting cards. So I thought that this was the best idea. Like I said, I didn't get much feedback for for my poster in general. I did get some, but it came quite late on. And that is particularly why I took this idea, because it is fairly simple. I may have not gone with the idea which physically used this, the particular draft which I've mentioned this for, but I wanted the trailer to have a logo, like something that would stand out. A particular, I want something to just create synergy between the actual items. It's like, while we were doing some research, it was as a class, we went over the, I think it was the Harry Potter, one of the Harry Potter films, that they all had the same font for the title, and the magazine and the poster all used the same font as what was in the film. How it was a recognizable font. You could pick it out, say, just by seeing this particular font, you could say that's Harry Potter. So that was the main reason I did actually create this. Yeah, so this is a bit more, it's a more modern version of what I remember seeing. And I think the one I remember seeing was Alice in Wonderland, the newest one, with one of the posters being like the Mad Hatter, and I think one of them was the Queen, and obviously one of them would have had to be Alice. Anyway, I use this as an example to sort of give to a couple of people who didn't really understand what my poster was like because the way it said, 2 down, 3 is next, they thought that that would just create confusion with the actual film's tagline, that being, it's time to play a game. So that's why I decided to actually put this post on my blogger, although I haven't really worded it very well, as it's just on the actual post, it's just poster design views. So that's the reason for this as well. And so after I got my draft together and everything, I thought I would do a quite a quick, very quick, just a quick sort of new version of it. Just I had that as the original idea, and decided it was going to be a grassy field. It was going to be of a hand with blood on it and a card. I thought I would make it even simpler. I thought to myself that as simple as it would be as effective. which was might have been a bit naive of me, but no one really actually saw my poster whilst I was messing with it. They saw obviously the title bit that I wanted to do, and I think they may have saw this as just a sort of doodle draft thing. No, not a doodle draft, as a bit more added to the draft. As I did do this pretty quickly.